From how they played thus far, I don't know because OSU ain't played nobody. So I'm going to go Georgia.
Yeah, good morning, and that's Uncle Lou here. Yep, that's right, it's me, Uncle Lou, and I'm live here on YouTube today. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it also. In addition to that as well. A lot of comments about the prediction videos and sort of the videos in general that I don't talk enough about actual football. Breaking down, such and such teams, offensive line against some teams, defensive line, or schemes, or why this team runs a 3-4 versus a 4-3. Listen, there are channels that do that, and there's nothing wrong with that. But that's not what I do here. You should have probably figured that out after about 10 or 15 seconds of the first video that you watched. I do appreciate the comment, but that's just not what I do. LouTube is for entertainment purposes only. So if that's what you're looking for, you came to the right place. However, if you're looking for a bowl of vanilla ice cream that you can watch slowly melt over time, dissecting X's and O's, if that's really what you're looking to see on YouTube, check this guy out. This guy is amazing. He posts videos all the time. He does live streams 2-3 hours long where he'll break down every single team's offensive guard against some other team's defensive tackle or nose guard. It's amazing content. Guy really knows what he's doing. Warning though, or caution, or word to the wise, or public service announcement, or whatever. If you have your own YouTube channel, don't watch this guy. He doesn't want you to watch, and he definitely doesn't want you to comment. Just a word to the wise there. But if you don't have a YouTube channel, if you're just a YouTube viewer, then go on over there and put yourself to sleep.
Goofballs.
We about to turn it on.
All right, here we go. It's time for the Week 6 preview. Now, I've done the SEC games. I did that on Tuesday. I've done all the top 25 teams. I did that yesterday, Wednesday. Today's Thursday. That means it's other games that are interesting to me. So these won't be SEC games or top 25, but they're interesting to me for one reason or another. All the numbers, lines, odds, spreads, totals, over-unders, all that stuff that I use in today's video is going to come straight from betnow.eu. And they're accurate as of about 9 a.m. this morning. This is the second year in a row I've been fortunate enough to work with the good people over at betnow.eu. And if you click the link in the description of this video, it'll take you over there. You can get yourself signed up. When you get signed up, there's a box for a bonus code. If you enter Uncle Lou, one word, in that bonus box, they're going to give you a bonus on whatever you deposit. Good luck in that. All right, chronological order. So if you're looking for a specific game, if you check the description of this video or the title, it'll list the games that I'm covering, and the games are going to be in chronological order. So up first, Saturday noon, ESPN2, TCU on the road at Iowa State. Two good teams, right? Not great. Neither team is ranked, although I have a feeling one of these teams is going to be ranked very, very soon. That team is TCU. They're on the road at Iowa State. Yeah, we know it's impossible to win there. It's never happened before. Blah, blah, blah. TCU will win this game. Iowa State's a 3.5-point home favorite. So apparently the people in Vegas or the people putting money on this game have fallen for the trap that you can't win at Iowa State, which just isn't true. TCU, I say this all the time, they play a really good defense. Now, Iowa State's got a decent defense too, especially for the Big 12. TCU's, in my opinion, has got a pretty good defense regardless of what conference they play in. They always seem to put a pretty good defense on the field under Gary Patterson. They're 3-1, right? Their only loss was to SMU by 3 points. They beat Kansas last week 51-14. Their defense has only given up 246 per game and only 100 and something through the, what is this, 116? I can't read my own writing. I think it's about 150 through the air, actually. Iowa throws for 350 a game. So, a great pass defense against a great pass offense. Defense will win, I think, in my opinion. I'm going to take TCU to win this game outright. I don't even want the 3.5 points or that. Air Force at Navy. Sometimes I watch a game and I say, man, I sure wish there was a way both these teams could lose. The Auburn and Florida game this weekend comes to mind. This is a game you wish both teams could win, couldn't you? You really wish they could. No trash talk here for Air Force and Navy. These kids that go to these schools. Football is not their primary concern or objective in life. They have far bigger and greater ambitions than that. Air Force is a 3.5-point road favorite over Navy. They're 3-1. Navy is 2-1. There will be a lot of running the ball in this game. Now, you know, sometimes you watch the Big 12, there might be 1,000 pass yards in this game. There might be 600 rushing yards in this game. Both these teams are just going to run. Hardly any passing at all. Let's see. Air Force, who'd they lose to? Boise State, but it was close, 11 points. Navy, also one loss, lost to Memphis in a pretty good game. And Boise State and Memphis are probably two of the best group of 5 teams in America. So those aren't bad or embarrassing losses. I don't want to pick against anybody here, so here's what I'm going to do. Air Force is a 3.5-point favorite. I'm going to take Navy and hope that they keep the game closer than that. Maybe Navy loses by 1, wins by 1. Obviously no injuries in this one. And just hoping for a good game here. Virginia Tech at Miami. Are these the 2 worst teams in the ACC not named Georgia Tech? Probably. They probably are. Louisville might have something to say about that too. I don't know, but these are 2 terrible teams here. They both come in at 2-2. Virginia Tech got blown out by Duke. They lost to Boston College. Their only wins are over Furman and Old Dominion. Miami, well, we know their story. They lost a close one to Florida. They lost a close one to North Carolina, and then they have wins over Bethune-Cookman and Central Michigan, where they only scored 17 points there. Beat Central Michigan 17-12. Virginia Tech's an abject disaster, and it doesn't seem to be heading in the right direction at all. Fuentes has been there 4 or 5 years now. He doesn't have the excuse that Miami has of having a brand new coaching staff in there with Manny Diaz. Miami had a week off last week to try to get some things worked out, especially offensively after that terrible performance they displayed against Central Michigan, only putting up 17 points. I'm going to take the home team, Miami, here. 14 seems like a lot of points to lay with a Miami team that has trouble scoring, but I think that off week is going to help them, and Virginia Tech is just that bad. Give me the Canes, lay to 14. North Carolina at Georgia Tech. Man, what happened in North Carolina? Such a great story the first 2 weeks of the season, right? Mack Brown returns to North Carolina to try to revive that program. Starts off winning 2 games that almost everybody had them losing. South Carolina and Miami. What have they done since then? Well, they haven't won a game since then. Started 2-0, now they're 2-3. I mentioned beating Miami and South Carolina in the first couple of weeks. Since then, they've lost to Wake Forest, App State, and Clemson. All close losses, all one-score losses, but still all losses, right? Georgia Tech, they're just a disaster. They're 1-3, and they appear to be getting worse offensively, which is a terrible sign. But no hope for Georgia Tech this year. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. This comes on 4 o'clock ACC Network. North Carolina's a 10.5-point favorite. They lost to Clemson. They beat the Citadel in overtime, right? They played Temple last week off of a bye week. Now, when you're a team like Georgia Tech with a new coaching staff installing a brand new offense in the offseason, bye weeks are gold. I mean, you could have taken those 2 weeks of practice, the extra week there, and really worked on that offense, and I'm assuming that you did, but then you came out and not only did you lose to Temple, the offense didn't even score. You lost 24-2. Your only points in that game came on a safety by the defense. Georgia Tech is just awful. North Carolina snaps its 3-game losing streak here on the road at Georgia Tech and wins by more than 10.5. Give me the Tar Heels, lay to points. Northwestern at Nebraska, the disappointment bowl for this week. Both of these teams had high expectations heading into the season. Neither one of them has lived up to them, in my opinion. Northwestern is 1-3. That's just absolutely unacceptable. The only win they have is against a terrible UNLV team. You look at Nebraska, they're 3-2. They lost to Colorado. I think that game was in overtime. And then they lost to Ohio State. And it's not really that they lost to Ohio State. That's not why they're disappointing. They got absolutely blown out. And going into this season, you know, a lot of people had Nebraska maybe as a dark horse or a surprise pick to contend in that division in the Big Ten, which is the weaker of the two. Adrian Martinez was on some preseason Heisman lists. This guy's been terrible this year, period. There's no other way to describe it. I hope I wrote this down because I can't remember anything off the top of my head. 7 touchdowns, 5 interceptions for Adrian Martinez. Terrible. Until you look at Northwestern's quarterback, Hunter Johnson, this leftover tater from Clemson that jumped ship when Trevor Lawrence got the job. He's got 1 touchdown and 4 interceptions. So, yeah, Martinez is bad, 7 TDs, 5 interceptions. Hell, this Hunter Johnson, 1 touchdown, 4 interceptions. This guy doesn't know what he's doing. Somebody's got to win. Who's it going to be? I'll take the home team and lay the 7.5. Give me the Cornhuskers. Pitt at Duke. Now, if Northwestern and Nebraska are surprisingly bad, which they are, I think Pitt and Duke are surprisingly good. Pitt's 3-2, right? But they lost to, Duke's is, or is it? No, I'm sorry. Yeah, Pitt is 3-2. Duke is 3-1. Their only loss was to Alabama, right? Yeah, beat Virginia Tech last week 45-10. Great play from their quarterback, Harris, 10 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, completing 73% of his passes, 842 yards, and he's also their leading rusher, 300 yards and 2 touchdowns. Pitt is just a ho-hum team. There's nothing really that jumps out at you about Pitt. They're in the better half of those 6, 7, 8 win teams. There's a whole bunch of 6, 7, 8 win teams in the SEC, in the ACC. Pitt is in the top half of those teams. I don't think they're going to win this game, though, on the road at Duke. I'm sort of a buyer in Duke. They look like a good team when you watch them play. I know they got blown out by Alabama, but come on, they were just overwhelmed in that game talent-wise. They won't be overwhelmed talent-wise in this game. I'm not saying Pitt doesn't have slightly better talent than Duke. That's debatable there. But they have played really, really well. Give me the home team, the Dukies. Lay the 5. All right, that's going to do it for the preview and prediction videos for this week. I hope you guys enjoyed them. Again, click back, check out Tuesday's video if you want to see my thoughts on the SEC games this week. Click back to Wednesday's video if you want to see my thoughts on the top 25 matchups coming up this weekend. What's tomorrow? Friday, hype and hate time. I'll have a Georgia versus Tennessee video out for you guys tomorrow. And since today's Thursday, that means we'll be doing the live show tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern. Make sure you join us for that. It's a call-in show. I'll take phone calls from you guys from all over, and we talk college football for a couple hours. I do that every Tuesday and Thursday night at 10 p.m. Eastern and Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. All right, I appreciate you guys watching. Have a great morning.